Before I get this video started, I'd like to mention that I have some friends who run CSGO results. They put a lot of effort into predicting CSGO game outcomes. So far, 9 out of 10 of their predictions have been correct. I'm going to post a link to their page in the description below, so go ahead and check them out after this video. They're pretty cool guys. Hey everyone, these are going to be some of the upcoming games that I'm going to bet on. These games are definitely going to be very close, but I believe I'm going to come out on top and win these. Alright, so for my first bet, this is definitely a gamble. This is why I didn't bet so much on it. I bet on Epsilon versus Nip. The reason I voted on Epsilon is because recently they've been doing very well, unlike Nip not doing as good. For my second game, I voted on Navi versus LDLC. I picked Navi because I've picked them lots of times before and they've never proved me wrong, and I am pretty confident that they can beat LDLC. But it's definitely going to be one of the closer games out of these four. So, for the next game, I voted on Fnatic versus VP. Now, the reason on me voting on Fnatic over VP is because I believe Fnatic has been playing better than VP lately, so they should be able to overcome VP and win the game. Now, assuming VP loses to Fnatic, the fourth game will be iBuyPower versus VP. If Fnatic beats VP by a large margin, iBuyPower shouldn't have too much of a problem. But if VP plays well against Fnatic in their match, iBuyPower could be in trouble. Sadly, I won't be able to watch these games live, so I won't be able to change my bet depending on how the third game goes. But anyways, as always, I'll see you guys after the games. Nip versus Epsilon. Wow, this was an exciting match to watch. They played on cobblestone, and throughout the game, Epsilon seemed to know this map better than Nip did. Epsilon took a solid first half against Nip with a score of 10-5. Kiyoshima was amazing this game. He had top frag throughout the game, playing better than anybody else. FXShow did great too. He played very well with Op throughout the game, but so did Flaren. For the second half, Nip only got one round in before Epsilon beat them. The game ended with a score of 16-6. This game was amazing. Epsilon took out Nip, supposedly the best team in the world. This was a great match. You should really watch the replay. Navi versus LDLC. This was another interesting game. I assume Navi would play it slow during the first half on the T side and hopefully get a few rounds, then dominate at CT, as they usually do on Inferno. I was right for the most part. Navi did well during the first half and came up with a score of 7-8 on the T side. But LDLC really picked it up during the second half while Navi dropped it. In the end, LDLC came out on top with an ending score of 16-12. It was a great game to watch, even though the team I bet on lost. Next up, Fnatic versus VP. They played on Overpass. This was an interesting game as well. VP played very well, and by the end of the half, they took the lead 10-5, looking strong. Immediately at the beginning of the second half, Fnatic came back, tying the game 11-11. Later, VP went on to take the lead, 15-12, about to win the game. So, Fnatic had to force buy in order to give them a chance at winning the round. And, even though they force buyed, they still managed to win the round. And then after that, they managed to win 2 more rounds, tying the game up and forcing overtime. Now, with both teams playing to 19 points, Fnatic did manage to win the overtime, winning the game 19-16. This was a very fun game to watch and had me on the edge of my seats the entire time. Now, for the very last match, iBuyPower versus VP. Now, I didn't get to watch this game, but the ending score was 16-2 in favor of VP. It looks like they completely beat iBuyPower, no problem, but I wasn't there to watch it, so I don't know for sure. Now, for the winnings. Even though I did manage to only win 2 out of 4 games, and I lost one of my starting keys, what's actually funny is I actually gained a key back from one of my winnings. And, of course, I did gain value. I'm up to about $9.50 right now, steadily climbing and making my way to $100. These are my returns, of course, and then this is what I won. Also, I'd like to announce the winner from last video. I asked you guys to comment on which one you wanted me to use, Twitter or Steam. And the winner is Twitter, just by a few votes. So I made a Twitter, @Tad947, and I'll also link it in the description so you can find it easily. I'm going to be posting every game that I bet on before the game starts so you guys can know and bet with me if you want to. So that's about all. I'll see you guys next episode.